This is one of my favourite places in the world. This is a beautiful garden that my parents built on a bush block out in the Perth hills. And I spent my whole childhood wandering around these plants. My name's Claire Hooper. I'm a comedian. I can never say it with a downward inflection. I'm a comedian. And I live in Melbourne. But right now I'm at my parents' home with a rooster.
Here's the deal, my parents were hippies. So not the fun kind, the boring kind. So we didn't, as kids, get to get henna tattoos and go to music festivals or whatever. We just had no shoes and no flavour.
I always loved comedy and theatre when I was younger, but I certainly never thought that it was an actual viable career option. So when I went to university, I actually studied occupational therapy first, and then I slowly kept sidestepping the way you can through a uni degree until I ended up graduating with a major in theatre arts, which is so useful. And at some point along that journey, Mum and Dad must have got a clue that I was not necessarily going to end up in horticulture. And this is the place I was brought home from the hospital to as a baby. My grandmother had started a garden design business, and then she went in with my mother and father on this block of land, and they built a garden centre that, man, it's really grown to be something quite huge and sprawling and amazing. Yeah, it's got the most lovely gardens all around it that we grew up playing in as kids. But when I reflect back on my childhood compared to my friends, I'm like, I got to roam 6 acres. I grew up mostly in bare feet. I got to pick a lot of flowers, eat a lot of vegetables fresh from a garden. You know, like I realise now that I'm an adult, living in a suburban block with my own kids, I realise now how blessed my childhood was, that I just had so much nature to play in. This is from the original playground back in the 70s. This old girl, she used to be upright. Not safe. It just wasn't safe to be a child back in the 70s. Now she's flat so that nobody can hurt themselves. But I still remember the feeling of grabbing onto this tyre and trying to get to the top of it, like being too little to get all the way to the top. And then there's a point when you're just grown big enough and you can get to the top like the big kids, stand right up on top of that tyre. So exciting. Man, this is like one of my earliest memories, holding onto this thing. Disgusting. The upkeep around here. Look, I reckon I was 13 when Dad first got me to rake underneath the fruit trees. And I didn't enjoy it and didn't do it for very long, and then probably waited another few months before he gave me another crack as an employee. And I think it was inevitable that I started doing things that were more playing to my skill set, like started a kids gardening club, and we'd do like workshops and crafts and things on weekends or school holidays. And I used to draw silly signs for them to put out the front on the roadside. And yeah, when I think back, it was all about, like, I'd do the job they told me to do, but I was always inventing ways to have a bit more play in this environment. I still remember enough plant names from my time here to impress friends in Melbourne. This is a Corazima caudatum. It's one of my absolute favourites. And it's one of the few plants from my childhood that I've grown in my garden in Melbourne. So I've got this lovely little patch of these. And I just love, like, it's got such a lovely deep green foliage, and the flowers are bright orange and bright pink with a little yellow heart. They're such cute flowers. And I loved the colour scheme because it was the exact same colour scheme as the costumes on Robert Palmer's Simply Irresistible music video. Do you remember that? It was this amazing preparation for stage at night, having such a serene and meditative environment. You know, like, and then to walk on stage, and you might have done your hair, but you still got dirt under your fingernails as you hold the microphone, and it's kind of like it's a really nice balance.
Don't mind getting old. I think I've got a lot of good role models around me. Like my parents, for a start, they've recently retired and they are killing it. Like my dad has taken all sorts of new hobbies up, and his favourite, I think, is leaving the room in the middle of the conversation. Oh, he is good at that.
Playing in the garden centre was always fun, but the best thing was you could always pop home for a snack. Oh, it's just like the best taste ever. Still, man, this is the method from when I was little, and I still use the same method. You pop and you slit, and then you roll them all out into your palm. The taste is just so evocative of my childhood. And you just, like, you can't buy them this good in the shops. How many times has someone said that on Gardening Australia? But it's true. It's so amazing. It's so good.
Hey Claire.
Mum!
Lovely to see you.
Fancy seeing you here at your house.
Do you remember? You used to pick these when
I
you
used
were
to
little.
love picking these. I always liked finding the little baby ones the best. Little tiny one.
Oh, that's not a little tiny one. That's a slightly bigger one.
That's
Would
right.
you like those?
Yes! I would also like to eat some of your peas, but I've done that already, so...
Oh, yeah.
Show me.
Okay. She was interested in flowers right from the beginning. When she was about 9 months old, we visited Nana in England, and I swear she said, "our." So we went around telling the family that Claire's first word at 9 months was flower. So I guess doting parents say that, but I always fantasised that perhaps Claire would be the one to come into the business, but she had other things she wanted to do.
Wow. Has the old rose garden even grown a bit since I was last here?
I think it has, Claire.
Wow. When did you plant it?
1975, just the year that we developed the nursery, the year before you were born.
Yeah, wow.
So would you love to climb it?
Not at all. I would be terrified even before I hit the first branches. It looks like it's laughing at us.
No, I don't think so.
Look at that smile. It's
Yes.
definitely laughing at us. Yeah, when I think back to how I grew up, I certainly had no awareness that my mum was really hands-off. But reflecting back, when you look at how we raise our children now, I'm like, wow, she really just let us disappear from view for long periods of time. We were always up a tree or playing with something unsafe or, yeah, I really admire the way she let us just get up to our own mischief. She got lucky, we're all still alive.